Okay, so since we're focusing a lot on talking about what to do to your business blog, let's talk a little bit about what to avoid doing to your business blog. The first thing we want to talk about is omitting an about page. You need to have an about page so you can start using your blog to build your credibility and start to brand yourself. Now, when people read the content on your business blog, they want to access the credibility of the information to establish its reliability. So it's very essential for you to build an about page on your blog, which mentions who built the content on the site and what qualifies them to write such content. So you can include your name and especially your experience in that specific niche. Because low credibility means fewer conversions, fewer subscribers, and in turn, less sales through your website. So let me give you a quick example here. Here's a quick example of an about page. If I go to edmundlowe.com, he actually has a better about page than I do, so I figured I'd show this as an example. But if you go here, you can see that he talks about himself, and then he talks about his business, and then he gives a brief biography and then about his products and things like that. Then it gives the reader a good view of who he is and basically why should the reader read his material and take his material seriously. Now this is a WordPress blog, as you can see, and you can create pages in WordPress and create an about page. Now if you go to woothemes.com, they actually provide a lot of themes that look more like websites than anything else, and you can create about me pages and look pretty professional that way too. Now if you go to blogger.com and you log in, right now I'm logged into my account and I can edit my profile. They don't necessarily have an about me page, however you can edit your profile and consider that an about me page. So make sure whether you're using Blogger or WordPress to create your about me page. The next thing I want to talk about is not linking to your website. If you have a blog and you're using blogger.com, then it's obvious that it's being hosted on Google's blogger.com website. So not linking your business blog to your corporate website will shoot you in the foot. More often than not, a blog is a tool to support your corporate website. Being that your blog does not link to your website does you no good, as it does not allow people to be directed to your corporate site to see more links, more products, things that you provide. And blogging platforms such as WordPress are super and recommended as they allow you to host your blog alongside with your website. So let me give you an example of when we go to blogger.com, of an example of how you can link to your website. Okay, so when we're looking at blogger.com and making sure that we link back to our website, you can actually enter them at the links over here. Now to do that, you need to log into your blogger.com account, and then we need to go to settings. And if you go to the template section right here and you click on edit HTML, you don't really need to know HTML, you just need to know where to find this section. But you need to look for the main or archive page, and you'll find it under links here. So you'll see a bunch of code here and you don't need to know anything about that. Scroll all the way to the bottom and then start scrolling up, and you'll see it right here. And what I did was I just began to add links, and if you want multiple links, then you need to put it in a list. So you can pretty much copy this, like less than greater than sign UL, and then close that. If you're only putting one link, then all you need to do is have this here, the ahref equals blah blah blah. And feel free to pause this video and copy that down if needed and include that. And what's going to happen is when you go to view blog, it's going to be on the top right hand corner. And this way, when you have different blog posts, it's always going to be over here. The next thing you want to avoid doing is not branding yourself. Building a blog is all about branding yourself, showing people that you are the expert. So your business blog must be seen as, let's say, for example, the senior marketing officer for your business. Because when we're dealing with websites and blogs, we don't have actual people that go to, face to face. So these are acting like your marketing tools, and they must depict your corporate identity. So keep in mind that your blog or your website name must be similar with your business. So when you create your blog, you try to keep it so that it's similar to your business name or your name, and try to depict the same colors as your corporate website so that when people get to your website, they're already comfortable and they associate you with your blog and with your website. Also, don't forget to include links pointing to your corporate site on your blog. So you can reciprocate that. Make it so that on your blog you have a link to your corporate website, and on your website, link to your blog. So basically, your business blog must be viewed as a means to distinguish your expertise in your market niche and gain trust and credibility. So your blog content must meet the needs and desires of your target market niche. So the About Me page and the About Us page actually helps to reach your goal in branding yourself as well. And with the blog design, when you brand yourself with a blog design, Blogger.com doesn't allow you to customize your blog as far as having your own uniqueness. However, with WordPress you can. And I did talk about previously in the previous video about installing WordPress and finding themes. And there are probably thousands and millions of WordPress themes out there, many which are free, but some that you can pay for. However, a lot of them allow you to stand out amongst the crowd of WordPress bloggers and bloggers itself. Sometimes negatives comments can turn into positive comments. For example, if somebody tries to create controversy so they get traffic back to your site, and it's clearly that way, then you can delete their comment. But if they have a legitimate comment about your content and they question the motives, and maybe you can use that controversy in return to create a positive comment out of that. So some interaction on your blog is good, but sometimes some people like just to post negative comments just for no reason, and those types of things are like spam, and you need to delete those and you need to monitor it. Let me give you an example here. Let's say, for example, that you run a web hosting website, and on that website you also have a blog, and somebody comes along and posts on your blog and says, this website web hosting sucks, or this stinks. And they don't exactly say why. Those comments are not productive at all and will in turn put a negative impact on your website. Now, if they say, hey, I'm having an issue, blah, 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 and you can say, here, I fixed it, within half an hour or whatever, and people see that, because all web hosting companies are going to have problems. It's just a matter of who actually takes the initiative to take care of the customer. So that could in turn into a positive outcome for your website. Now you need to look into that and make sure that is what is happening. So distinguish between spam and non-spam related comments, and make sure you monitor your blog and delete the spam related comments. Some bloggers resort to turning off comments completely on business blogs and rather leave readers to express their sentiments through an email contact. Then they choose to enter positive comments from visitors themselves on the blog. This can be a good idea. A business blog is meant for you to showcase your expertise, not the customers to show their expertise. But as I said earlier, you can take a negative comment and turn it into a positive. But generally, it's very obvious whether it's spam or not. Also, avoid neglecting your business blog. If you want to be really successful with business blogging, you need to frequently update your blog so that visitors can continue to find fresh content time after time. Now, a visitor may stop visiting a blog if they visit it 3 times and find that the content is still the same, and they feel you're done and they get done with your blog too. Now, I'm going to talk about how to use RSS feeds so that if somebody does use things like Google Reader or My Yahoo, then they can get updates to your blog posts through RSS feeds. And that's another great way of keeping update with your readers. And just make sure that you try to post frequently, tweak the design a bit so that customers continue to find your blog fresh. And remember that search engine spiders love fresh content. Maybe not the design's more for the visitor, but as far as the search engine spiders go, try to update as frequent as possible. So things to do: write unique, original content. Write things that are on your mind. It doesn't have to always be formal. Try to make it informal, and so you can build a relationship with your readers. And write quality, compelling content that simply lures somebody to come back to your blog, and also share it with their colleagues and their friends. Try to write timeless content. It's advisable to write content that continues to be valid and relevant, not depending on a certain time. For example, a blog post about Valentine's Day may be irrelevant if that already passed. Content, for example, that, let's say I'm writing content about bench pressing. Whether it's 10 years later, that material is probably still similar. It might have changed a little bit, but since over the decades, it's very similar. So that type of material is great because if you get people 5 years later, they come to your blog, then your blog is still worthwhile and worth looking at. And that's something I do with my newsletters as well. I usually post my old newsletters up in certain areas, and what people do is go there, and if they like it, they'll sign up and subscribe to my list. And the method of frequency. Try to post consistently. Fresh new content encourages your readers to frequently check your site, and search engines, like I said earlier, also favor sites that are frequently updated as opposed to stale sites.